Intention of action and consequence. Entropy, fundamentally, is the natural flow of states, from order to disorder, the action and the consequence. Think the action of dropping a pen and the consequence of the pen making contact with the floor, the action of walking and the consequence of going to the destination, or the action of opening a door and the consequence of another space being accessible. Inverse entropy, true to its name, goes against the natural flow of states. It makes sense of chaos into coherence. From the end, it creates the beginning. The consequence precedes the action. Think when interacting with an entropic object. There is first intent, then action, then consequence. An inversely entropic object is already in a state of consequence, which meets the action of interacting with it. The intent, which drives it, comes last, retroactively justifying the consequence. Thresholds and boundaries. Typically, a house is defined as a fixed, tangible shelter, a protection from the elements, enclosed from the environment. There exists a boundary, the interior and the exterior. The boundary itself, while actively functioning, is a passive entity in interaction. There lies only the action of trying to go through a boundary, and the consequence of failing to do so, as the boundary executes its function. Thresholds, gateways, doors are the access points of a space within a boundary. The action of going through a door and the consequence of exiting and entering a space is intentional. There lies the layer of intent, action, and consequence. Interiority and exteriority. What does it mean to interact with a threshold? To open access where there is a boundary. The exit and entry to a space. What does space imply? What lies in its interiority and exteriority? In the physical world, one cannot exist without the other. There is the outside and the inside. In the context of a house, the boundary is a form of protection for the inside from the outside. The interior implies the enclosed, livable spaces. The exterior implies the external environment. However, is the only difference between the interior and the exterior, a space and another space, the presence of a boundary? If the boundary between the spaces were different, if its materiality were solid, transparent, or came in a different form, what then is the interior and exterior? The answer lies in the conditions of a space. There exist spaces that are solidly interior and exterior, and spaces that lie in between. As thresholds, gateways, doors are the established access points of a space within a boundary. There lies the intent, action, and consequence. It acknowledges the spaces and the crossover to a defined space from another. The presence of a threshold to a space, even unbounded, implies interiority, as the threshold itself frames the space. It becomes both the access point and the boundary. A threshold then defines the event of travel itself, a moment in time.